What's going on, everyone? Welcome back again to the show, Seahawks Now. A lot of craziness going on in Seahawks world right now. Obviously, Geno Smith no longer on the team. A lot of fallout to that. We're still waiting to hear more info on DK Metcalf as well. But for now, let's talk about the quarterback situation because this is what I think is on everybody's minds. Who could come in to replace Geno Smith? Now, a lot of people are saying it's a full rebuild. They're saying this is a full rebuild. We're going to draft somebody. It's a complete rebuild. Like that's what a lot of people are saying. That's what I'm hearing a lot of people. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't think that this is a full rebuild situation. Now, we're going to find out a lot over the next couple of weeks to cue us in on whether or not it is a full rebuild or not. But the way I see this, I don't think that the Seahawks are rebuilding. Yes, they're getting rid of DK Metcalf. Yes, they're getting rid of Geno Smith. But they have the potential to upgrade at quarterback here. I know you guys are going to roll your eyes, but they do have the potential to upgrade at quarterback. Additionally, they still have a lot of talent. They have JSN. They have Kenneth Walker. They have, on the defensive side of things, Devin Witherspoon. They have they have a lot of talent. They just drafted Byron Murphy. They just hopefully bringing back Ernest Jones. This is not a team necessarily. You look at Uchenna Nwosu, Leonard Williams. This is not a team that is slated for a full rebuild. They have the talent. They have a lot of young talent. They do. They had a good defense, an improving young good defense. Reek Woolen, I know we're kind of low on him now, but he's still good as well. So the idea that the Seahawks are going to tear it all down and rebuild, I don't think that's what they're looking to do. I think that they are looking to actually improve. And so, thus the reports that the Seahawks are apparently interested in Sam Darnold, free agent quarterback. The Seahawks found out last week, the entire league did, that Darnold was not going to be franchised by the Vikings. He's going to be on the free agent market, on the free market. Now, the Vikings are reportedly going to offer him a multi-year deal similar to the Baker Mayfield deal, which was, I think, 3 years, $35 million. Geno wanted $40 to $45 million. So I think the Seahawks maybe could swoop in the very, very middle. $38 million to Sam Darnold for maybe 3-4 years. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but they're interested. And the truth is, Darnold had a good season last year. He did. He had a pretty good year. 35 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. The Vikings went 13-4. They had a good year. No, excuse me. I think they went 14-3. They lost to the Rams twice because they lost in the playoffs to the Rams as well, and they lost to the Lions twice. They beat every other team that they played. That's pretty impressive. So, yeah, Sam Darnold had a good season. 102 quarterback rating, that's good. 102 passer rating. The only thing Geno was better at him was a completion percentage. Geno had a 70%. Sam was sitting at 66%. Now, I do worry, though. Here's my fear. Is Darnold could come here and not be the same guy he looked like in Minnesota. Because in Minnesota, he had Justin Jefferson, which is probably the best thing a quarterback can have. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that he had Justin Jefferson on his team, plus TJ Hawkinson, plus Jordan Addison, plus good running back Aaron Jones. He had a great offensive core. The Seahawks, on the other hand, he does have JSN, but he's not going to have Metcalf, which is tough. And so I don't think that he will put up as good of numbers. I want to say that right now. I don't think he will. It's not as good of a receiving core in Seattle as it was in Minnesota. You could argue that with DK it is, because even if Jefferson's better than JSN, obviously he is, but you could say DK's better than Jordan Addison, so it kind of evens out. But without DK Metcalf, it's pretty clearly the Seahawks are not as good of a team, of a receiving core as the Vikings. So I think that in that sense, Darnold would get a little bit worse. The benefits is he's younger than Geno. He's probably cheaper than Geno, but again, I'm not sure. And he's a little more athletic, a little bigger arm. and less mistakes. Last year he made less mistakes. But again, before last year, we knew Sam Darnold as the guy who made all the mistakes. He was the most mistake-prone quarterback in the league. Threw a ton of picks, a ton of incomplete passes. He was seeing ghosts. Remember the seeing ghosts thing? So, yeah, I'm not sure exactly how I feel about Sam Darnold, but the Seahawks are apparently going to be interested in him. If that's everyone's reporting it, so I believe it. I think they are in on Sam Darnold, which is why I think that they're not intending on rebuilding. I think they look at Sam Darnold as an upgrade, a legitimate, viable upgrade over Geno Smith. But there's some other free agent quarterbacks. Let's talk about Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers. Could they be viable quarterback options for Seattle? As far as Kirk Cousins goes, I would say maybe. I would be interested in it. Again, the problem is what he's owed, but you could potentially try to restructure the contract. The thing we always hear about these Achilles injuries is that it's year 2. You're healthier than year 1. So Kirk, year 1 off the Achilles, didn't look very good. Right? He did not look very good. He got injured in October, end of October. So we had November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. So he had 10 months of recovery. He had a couple good games against Tampa Bay, a couple good games here and there, but for the most part, he didn't have a very good season. They were 7-7 when he got benched. 10 months. Rodgers had more of a full 12 months because remember, he got hurt in week 1. Cousins got hurt in week 8. But what all the doctors say is that it takes about 18 months to fully recover from an Achilles. And so both Kirk and Rodgers should theoretically be healthier and better next year. A lot of players who tear their Achilles struggle the first year back from it, and then they all of a sudden are back to being great in the second year back from it. However, with Aaron Rodgers, I would still pause because he is going to be 42 years old. And I think he's a bit of a toxic culture presence because he wants everything to be his way. He wants his guys in the front office. He wants his receivers, Devontae Adams, Alan Lazard. He wants his guys. He wants it done his way. He wants Nathaniel Hackett. He wants his guys. He doesn't care about the team. He's about himself. So I don't really want Aaron Rodgers in Seattle. And again, even if year 2 off the Achilles is better than year 1, Aaron's going to be 42 regardless of how long it's been. Kirk, though, I'm very interested in. Because for him, I see, he only had 10 months to recover. He maybe rushed the recovery process. And he still did win 7 games. He still had a couple of great games. His arm was clearly still there. He was under a lot of pressure. He made some bad decisions. He threw some bad interceptions. And he went on a really cold stretch in November. I think he had like 3 games in a row without a touchdown pass. It was bad. But if you think about it, he should be better next year. He's going to be 37, I believe. But he should be better next year. That's how it usually works with Achilles. And he's young enough where I do believe in it. He's also a good culture guy. He's a good locker room guy. Teammates love him. Teammates enjoy playing for him. And Clint Kubiak, the Seahawks offensive coordinator, has a relationship with Kirk Cousins. Kubiak was the offensive coordinator at Minnesota while Kirk was playing quarterback for Minnesota. So they know each other. So honestly, this decision could kind of come up to him. If Kubiak is saying, man, I really want to play with Kirk Cousins, if he's beating that drum in Mike's ear, that could definitely be something that happens. But if Kubiak's sitting back thinking, well, I coached him, I don't think he's that good, then obviously it's not going to happen. Last guy, another free agent available. These are not the only guys, but these are, I think, the 4 biggest names available. We'll talk more about other guys in future videos. Could Justin Fields be on the Seahawks' radar? This is one that I would definitely also be interested in. I'm not so sure if I would fall in love with it. But Justin Fields looked pretty good last year. He went 4-2 with the Steelers. The Bears, it was always a tough one for him there. Bad O-lines, bad weapons, bad coaching, bad defense. It was all the cards were stacked against him in Chicago. And then he went to a very average Pittsburgh team and looked pretty darn good. Went 4-2. He's young. He's definitely cheap. You could get him for $10 million a year. And it's the sort of low risk, high reward type of a deal where if he pops, you've got your franchise quarterback. You found him. And if he struggles, it's like, well, if he struggles, you can probably get a pretty darn good draft pick for next year. Because look what the Bears did. They had Justin Fields as their quarterback, and they ended up getting the number 1 pick. Which, then they ended up trading it to Carolina. But then it all worked out because then they got the number 1 pick from Carolina the next year. So it all worked out in the end for them. But needless to say, Justin Fields, yeah, if he struggles, you move on. You don't pay him that much. He's a bridge quarterback, and you draft somebody new because you probably will have a pretty good pick if Justin Fields struggles. But if he succeeds, then it's like, whoa, we just found our franchise quarterback and didn't have to pay him anything for, at least 1 or 2 years, which is massive, right? That's huge. So I'd be definitely interested in looking into Justin Fields. Again, I'm not sure if I love him. My precaution there would be, I know he looked pretty good in Pittsburgh, but they thought Russell Wilson was better. And if you watch the way Russell Wilson played at the end of the season, I don't know if anyone could come to that opinion because Russell Wilson did not look very good in Pittsburgh. In December, at least. He looked good early, but at the end of the year there, he did not. Either way, guys, that's going to wrap this video up for today. Let me know down in the comments, who would you rather of these 4, who are you most interested in, and who would you want the Seahawks to stay away from? I would be most interested in probably Darnold, just because he is the youngest of the bunch, and I would definitely be the least interested in Aaron Rodgers. I want to hear what you guys think. Most and least interested, let us know down in the comments. And as always, guys, we'll see you tomorrow. Until then, go Seahawks.